In a world where the flavors of fast food tempt us at every turn, and convenience often takes precedence over health, the topic of heartbreaking food becomes an all too familiar narrative. From processed indulgences to sugary delights, our taste buds often lead us down a path that can break our hearts, both figuratively and quite literally. But let's explore a different avenue today, one that guides us toward nourishing our bodies and souls with choices that uplift and heal rather than break our hearts. Number 1. Trans fats, found in many processed and fried foods. These fats raise bad cholesterol levels. Trans fats, also known as trans fatty acids, are unsaturated fats that have been chemically modified through a process called hydrogenation. They were commonly used in the food industry to improve the shelf life and texture of various products. However, trans fats are now widely recognized as harmful to human health. Consuming trans fats is associated with a higher risk of coronary heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. Some studies suggest that trans fats may lead to weight gain and increased abdominal fat, which is associated with a higher risk of metabolic syndrome and related health problems. Number 2. Saturated fats, common in red meat and dairy products. They can contribute to plaque buildup in arteries. Saturated fats are known to be harmful to the human body when consumed in excessive amounts due to their impact on cardiovascular health and other potential health risks. It's important to note that not all saturated fats are created equal. Some sources of saturated fats, such as those found in coconut oil, may have different effects on the body than those found in animal products. Nonetheless, experts generally recommend limiting overall saturated fat intake and opting for healthier fat sources like unsaturated fats, e.g., found in olive oil, avocados, and nuts, for a well-balanced and heart-healthy diet. Dietary guidelines often advise that saturated fats should account for less than 10% of daily calorie intake. Number 3. High-sodium foods. Consuming high-sodium foods can have various harmful effects on the human body, particularly when it leads to excessive sodium intake. Excess salt intake can lead to high blood pressure, increasing heart disease risk. It's important to monitor and control sodium intake by reading food labels, reducing the consumption of processed and fast foods, and avoiding excessive use of table salt. The recommended daily intake of sodium varies by age and health status, but most health organizations advise limiting daily sodium intake to around 2,300 milligrams, about 1 teaspoon of salt, or less, with even lower recommendations for specific populations, such as those with hypertension or certain medical conditions. A balanced diet with plenty of fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can help mitigate the adverse effects of high sodium intake. Number 4. Sugary drinks. These can lead to weight gain and increase the risk of heart disease. High sugar consumption is associated with an increased risk of heart disease. Sweet drinks can raise blood pressure and triglyceride levels, contributing to cardiovascular problems. The liver metabolizes sugar into fat, and excessive consumption can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which can progress to more severe liver conditions. It's important to note that not all sweet drinks are the same, and moderation is key. Choosing water, herbal teas, or unsweetened beverages as alternatives to sugary drinks can help mitigate these health risks. Additionally, individual tolerance to sugar varies, and some people may be more susceptible to the negative effects of sweet drinks than others. Number 5. Processed meats contain saturated fats and high levels of sodium, which can harm the heart. Processed meats are often low in fiber, and the additives and preservatives used can lead to digestive discomfort in some individuals. To minimize the potential harms of processed meat, it's advisable to limit its consumption and opt for healthier protein sources such as lean cuts of fresh meat, poultry, fish, and plant-based alternatives. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can help reduce the risks associated with processed meat consumption. Number 6. Refined sugars. Added sugars in various foods and drinks can contribute to heart problems. Refined sugar is calorie-dense and provides little to no nutritional value. Consuming excess sugar can lead to weight gain and obesity, which are risk factors for a wide range of health issues, including diabetes, heart disease, and joint problems. Number 7. Excessive alcohol. Heavy drinking can lead to high blood pressure and heart damage. One of the most well-known consequences is liver damage. Chronic alcohol use can lead to fatty liver, alcoholic hepatitis, fibrosis, and cirrhosis, which can be life-threatening. If you or someone you know is struggling with alcohol abuse or addiction, it's essential to seek professional help and support to address these health concerns and improve overall well-being. Number 8. Fast food. Fast food is typically high in saturated and trans fats, which can raise LDL, bad cholesterol levels, and increase the risk of heart disease. To mitigate the potential harm of fast food, it's essential to limit its consumption and opt for healthier, home-cooked meals whenever possible. Choosing whole, unprocessed foods rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains can significantly reduce the associated health risks. Additionally, being aware of the nutritional content of fast food and making informed choices when dining out can help minimize the detrimental effects on the body. Number 9. Fried foods. Frying foods in oils high in saturated and trans fats can raise LDL, bad cholesterol levels, and increase the risk of heart disease. These fats can also lead to atherosclerosis, the narrowing and hardening of arteries. The high sodium content in many fried foods can contribute to hypertension or high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. To minimize the potential harm of fried food, it's important to limit its consumption and choose healthier cooking methods, such as baking, grilling, steaming, or sautéing, which use less oil and fewer unhealthy fats. When frying at home, using healthier oils like olive or canola oil and practicing moderation can help reduce the associated health risks. Additionally, a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins can provide better nutrition and contribute to overall well-being. Number 10. High-calorie snacks. Many high-calorie snacks are high in saturated and trans fats, which can raise LDL, bad cholesterol levels, and increase the risk of heart disease. The excess consumption of unhealthy fats can lead to atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries. To mitigate the potential harm of high-calorie snacks, it's essential to limit their consumption and choose healthier alternatives, such as whole, unprocessed foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Additionally, practicing portion control and mindfulness about what you eat can help reduce the associated health risks. Balancing your diet with a variety of nutrient-dense foods is key to promoting overall well-being and maintaining a healthy weight. Number 11. Excessive caffeine. In rare cases, extremely high caffeine intake has been associated with irregular heart rhythms and cardiovascular events. Although this is more common with certain energy drinks and dietary supplements containing caffeine, it's important to recognize that caffeine tolerance varies widely among individuals, and what constitutes excessive consumption for one person may not be the same for another. Moderation is key, and it's advisable to stay within recommended caffeine intake levels, which are typically considered safe for most adults, about 400 milligrams per day, equivalent to about 4 cups of brewed coffee. To minimize potential harm, it's important to be aware of your caffeine consumption and its effects on your body, and to consider reducing intake if you experience adverse symptoms. Number 12. Processed and packaged foods. Processed foods frequently contain trans fats, saturated fats, and high levels of sodium, all of which can raise LDL, bad cholesterol levels, increase blood pressure, and contribute to heart disease. To minimize the potential harm of processed and packaged foods, it's crucial to limit their consumption and choose healthier alternatives, such as whole, unprocessed foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Reading food labels and being aware of hidden sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives can help make more informed dietary choices. A balanced diet that includes a variety of nutrient-dense foods is essential for promoting overall well-being and reducing the risks associated with processed and packaged foods. As we conclude this discussion on heartbreaking food, let us remember that we have the power to make choices that nourish our bodies, minds, and spirits. By opting for wholesome, nutrient-rich options, we can embrace a path that strengthens our hearts and fuels our vitality. The journey towards better eating is not about deprivation, but about savoring the abundance of nature's gifts. So, let's bid farewell to the heartbreak and embrace a future filled with the promise of better choices and a healthier, happier tomorrow.